I love it. I love it. Wow, I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Yo, what's good my homies, what's poppin'? Another full card UFC video to make. This one's gonna be Petr taking on Merab Dvalishvili, a very good main event. Now before we make some predictions, I'm gonna post my bets from last week. I did return to MoneyCity. I was able to profit on the first card of March. I had 7 bets and I was able to hit 4 of them, which did turn me like a £60-70 profit, so not the best, but I'll still take that. Now guys, looking at all of the MoneyCity champions from last week, if you see your name on screen, you already know. You already know that you're a champion, you return to MoneyCity, let's go. And that's what we're looking to do in March. You know what I'm saying, March Madness. It's all about going to MoneyCity. You know what I'm saying, so let's do that. If you see your name on screen, big amen to you. You smashed UFC 285, let's go again. I feel like the best way to honour the MoneyCity champions is to like blaze up, you know what I'm saying. Alright, let's jump into the card, let's go. Alright guys, moving into the first matchup on this card, we've got Tyson taking on Bruno Silva. Now this matchup could potentially just be who's going to land the right hand first, because Tyson's got a powerful right hand and so has Bruno Silva. I mean, you look at what Tyson done to Ode Osborne. You know, Ode tried the jump knee, then got smacked with the right hand. You look at what Tyson done to Jerome Rivera, Zaruk Adeshev. You know, the right hand is landing clean and he's getting TKOs. But Bruno Silva also has a big right hand. So yeah guys, when I was watching tape with this matchup, that's kind of a storyline that I was getting. You know, that's kind of the thing that was being shown to me the most, was who's going to land the right hand. Who's going to land that weapon? So if you're going to be watching this matchup, that's what I'd really look out for. You know, Bruno Silva can calf kick, his output's good, he can wrestle, he can grapple. But I'd be watching like the rear hand of both of these fighters. And who's going to really land that weapon clean first? That could be the winner with this matchup. For me personally, I'm going to side with the Bulldog, Bruno Silva, to win this matchup. As for betting on the matchup, I wouldn't really advise, you know, taking -170, -180 on Bruno Silva when the matchup is quite volatile. You know, they're both going to be looking to land big shots. So yeah guys, in my opinion, I wouldn't bet this one, but my pick is going to be Bruno Silva to win this matchup. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Tony Gravely taking on Victor Henry. Now guys, speaking about Victor Henry with his last performance, I was really disappointed. And I feel like a lot of people are going to, you know, maybe feel the same way. You know, you look at his fight against Assuncao, super disappointing. You know, the main problem for Victor Henry with this matchup, with that performance, was he wouldn't really land his boxing. He wouldn't let his hands go. You know, most of his weapons were kicks against Assuncao, and there was times where Assuncao was able to catch the kick. And it was almost like you needed to just, you know, let your hands go, start to put a beating on Assuncao. He's old, he's slow. But Victor Henry really couldn't do that. And when you look at his performance against Raoni Barcelos, you know, Victor Henry was kind of making Raoni chase him. Whereas the fight against Assuncao, that wasn't the case. You know, Victor Henry was the aggressor and he was quite bad at doing that. You know, instead of being the one that is difficult to punch, difficult to kick, he was the one that was coming forward looking to cut the cage off, you know, and he just wasn't doing well. You know, the boxing was not good, the boxing wasn't landing, and he just wasn't doing enough. Now, it's interesting because Tony Gravely is very good. You know, Tony Gravely's got brilliant wrestling, his calf kicks are good, his boxing's got better over the years. And I really feel like if Victor Henry's going to win this matchup, he's really got to put in a good performance, because Tony Gravely's no walk in the park. For me personally, guys, I'd have to advise taking the underdog, Tony Gravely. If he can get some takedowns, that's a good way to win rounds. His boxing's arguably going to be better than Victor Henry's. And that's really all based off looking at Victor Henry against Raphael Assuncao, you know, looked just so bad at trying to land his hands, trying to land his boxing, trying to let his hands go. It didn't look good. So yeah, guys, in my opinion, the underdog is the prediction to make here. Tony Gravely to win this matchup. I like his wrestling. I like the calf kicks. I like the boxing. I'm not too sure about Victor Henry. So yeah, the prediction's going to be Tony Gravely to win this matchup. Alright guys, moving into the next matchup, we've got JJ Aldrich taking on Ariane Lipski. Now, I kind of feel like everyone's going to pick JJ Aldrich for the reason that Lipski has the takedown defense of a newborn baby giraffe. Like, she really does. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a newborn baby giraffe trying to defend takedowns. That's Ariane Lipski. You know what I'm saying? That's Lipski. You know, honestly, guys, just go to UFC Fight Pass and re-watch the fights of Lipski. Her takedown defense is not good. It's really bad. So really, based off that, I could just pick JJ Aldrich. But last week, we had Cody Garbrandt and Trevin Jones, and it was kind of like make or break for Cody Garbrandt. You know, it was really make or break. I kind of feel like it's the same situation for Ariane Lipski. Like, you've got to win this matchup. If Ariane Lipski loses this fight, it's adios. It's adios. And it's not going to be like an easy matchup to win. Like, JJ Aldrich, her boxing's good, her kicking's good, her wrestling's good, her IQ, you know. JJ Aldrich is pretty underrated. But for Lipski to win the matchup, obviously you've got to avoid being taken to the mat. If you can stay on the feet and just strike, then there's a chance. You know, not the best chance, but there is still a chance. That's going to be like the main thing if Lipski's going to win the fight. You know, just stay off the mat, look to strike with JJ Aldrich. If you can make the rounds close, you know, maybe get a greasy split decision or something to save your UFC career. Guys, I feel like the safe prediction would be JJ Aldrich. If I pick Lipski, I know I'm going to see a couple comments like, Lipski to win? No way. I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick Lipski to save her UFC career. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Mario Bautista taking on Guido Cannetti. Now, there's really no reason to spend too much on this breakdown. We know Mario Bautista is going to win this fight. You know, Guido Cannetti really shouldn't be fighting anymore. You know, 43 years old at bantamweight. And I know he beat, what's his name? Randy Costa. And who else was it that he beat? Oh yeah, Chris Martino, the punching bag Chris Martino. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Guido Cannetti has won 2 fights in a row, but it's gonna stop now. You know what I'm saying? Mario Bautista's gonna dust Guido Cannetti. I think Mario Bautista's like pretty good, man. Like, I think he could fight for a title at some point. You know, his boxing's very good, his wrestling's very good, his jiu-jitsu, his speed, his cardio, his power, it's all good. So yeah, I think round 1 or round 2 TKO for Mario Bautista would be the pick, would be the play to make. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Cedric Dumas taking on Josh Fremd. This is a good matchup. I like the matchup more for Cedric Dumas. And the reason for that is when I look at the tape, I see a nice kicking advantage for Dumas. His kicks are very, very good. There's a fight where he lands a beautiful lead head kick. I think it was in the Jorge Masvidal promotion. Yeah, the lead head kick was money, you know, just raise the lead leg, then zap. You know, the opponent's out cold. Beautiful, beautiful lead head kick. So yeah, I like the kicking advantage that Dumas has in this matchup. And if you look at his Contender Series fight, it's a beautiful guillotine choke finish. Now guys, looking at Josh Fremd with his most recent performance, he did get guillotine choked by Tresean Gore. So you kind of put those two things together where Dumas is getting a nice guillotine choke, Josh Fremd is getting guillotine choked. I'm picking Dumas to win his UFC debut. I like his kicking advantage. I think if Josh Fremd attempts to grapple, he could get choked out. I just think it's quite a difficult fight for Josh Fremd. I know Josh Fremd has more experience, but I think he's going to get butchered. I think he's going to get dusted. So yeah, the pick is going to be Dumas to win this matchup. I'd cap him around 65%, being as fair as I could possibly be to Josh Fremd. Alright guys, moving into a matchup where it's basically battle of the old bantamweights. You know, Raphael Assuncao is very old. Davey Grant, he's not a spring chicken, you know what I'm saying? This guy's pretty old too. So yeah, both of these guys are getting a fair matchup. You know, both guys pretty old. Now Assuncao, as we know, is a jiu-jitsu player. On the flip side, Davey Grant is not a jiu-jitsu player. This guy's a madman. This guy's all about danger. You know, swinging overhands, hooks, uppercuts, you know, Davey Grant's just a madman. And I think that could work on the feet against Raphael Assuncao. That's something that Victor Henry didn't have. You know, he didn't have that danger, he didn't have that threat. Whereas Davey Grant, he's all about that. You know, he's trying to create some chaos, trying to create havoc. Now, obviously, guys, Assuncao should just take Davey Grant to the mat. You know, just take him to the mat, implement some jiu-jitsu. You could get like a quick choke, a nice quick win. But obviously, guys, for me, I am going to side with the Englishman. I think he's dangerous. You know, dangerous Davey Grant. He could starch Raphael Assuncao. I think he could do it. So yeah, guys, for me, I'm going to side with Davey Grant. I just think he's too dangerous on the feet. You know, round 1, round 2, could just swing an overhand, a hook, land clean and get a nice TKO stoppage. So yeah, the pick is Davey Grant to win the matchup. Alright guys, moving into the next matchup, we've got Lukasz Brzeski taking on Karl Williams. Now guys, let me know if I'm wrong with this comment, but didn't Lukasz Brzeski actually beat Martin Buday? I know it says on his record that he lost the fight, but I've literally just gone back and rewatched that fight. I feel like Brzeski won that fight. You know, his boxing looked better than Martin Buday's, the output. I don't know why he didn't get the win, but yeah, I feel like he got robbed. Now on the flip side, Karl Williams, I feel like his wrestling's pretty good. You know, in the Contender Series, he really displayed good wrestling. And even on the Jorge Masvidal promotions, you know, good wrestling. So I feel like that's going to be the game plan of Karl Williams. You know, look to get Lukasz Brzeski to the mat early in round 1. Now, guys, there is a chance that if the fight goes past round 1, Karl Williams, if he gets tired, you know, and he's forced to stand and trade, then I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I will say the judges, I feel like the judges don't like Lukasz Brzeski, you know, clearly robbed him. In my opinion, they clearly robbed him against Martin Buday. And if they're going to rob this guy, I'll take Karl Williams to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? Even if Lukasz Brzeski is like teeing off looking good with his boxing, they're going to rob him. You know, they did that against Martin Buday. So yeah, I'm going to side with the newcomer, Karl Williams, to win this matchup. Guys, if you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, that's a double amen. If you're not a smoker, but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's always been a triple amen. Let's go. If you want all of the bets that I'm personally making on this card, guys, the only way to do that is to join my Patreon. Other than that, guys, March Madness. The March Madness is here. I know the Americans like refer to March Madness as like basketball, but hey, the UFC in March, it's looking good. And the UFC London card is coming up. I cannot wait for that card. A brother in the comment section last week said, let us know what strain you're smoking. Hey guys, Mac 1. UK Mac 1. You cannot beat this strain. Now obviously you can beat it, like if you're in Cali, you've got better than Mac 1, like way better. But there's a lot of Mac 1 in the UK and I feel like Mac 1 is a nice smoke, you know what I'm saying? But yeah guys, in the comment section, drop down your MoneyCity comments and also drop down what is your favourite strain to smoke. Let me know your favourite strain. For me personally, like one of my favourite strains is quite an old school strain. You don't really come across it too much. And I think I've said this before, but the Super Silver Haze. Hey, oh my goodness. I love the Super Silver. Hey guys, I promise every single one of you, I will outsmoke you on the Super Silver. I promise you that. Let's break down the main card. Alright guys, moving into the next matchup, we've got Vitor Petrino taking on Anton Turkalj. Now this matchup is kind of difficult to predict because both of these guys are pretty green. You know, Vitor Petrino only has 7 mixed martial arts fights and Anton Turkalj only has 9. So yeah, both of these guys are pretty green. Now looking at what Vitor Petrino done on the Contender Series, you know, just a violent knockout, like really violent. So there's no doubt in my mind, like if this matchup stays on the feet, just look out for Vitor Petrino. This guy's got nasty striking, super powerful. Now guys, it's interesting because Turkalji's not going to look to strike with Petrino. You know, Turkalji's going to look to grapple, look to get him to the mat. So you've really got two different styles. You know, you've got Petrino who's looking to starch up. You've got Turkalj who's looking to grapple. And that's why it's going to be a difficult fight to predict. You know, what are you going to go with? We know that Anton Turkalj got completely dusted in his UFC debut by Jailton Almeida. But Jailton Almeida's like hundreds of levels above Turkalj. So really it was a mismatch for Anton Turkalj in his UFC debut. This time he's getting a much better chance. at winning the fight. You know, get Vitor Petrino to the mat, look to implement your grappling. In my opinion, it's going to be a 50-50 matchup. I don't know too much about either guy. I know Vitor Petrino got a nasty knockout on the contender. I know that Anton Turkal's going to look to grapple. That's what I know about this matchup. For me personally, I'm going to side with the grappler, Anton Turkali, but I wouldn't really advise putting any money on this matchup. You know, it's too risky. Alright guys, moving into the next matchup, we've got Said Nurmagomedov taking on Jonathan Martinez. Now, both of these guys have made me good money. I like both of these fighters. You know, Said Nurmagomedov's very flashy. You know, this guy's a very flashy striker and his grappling's very good. So really, Jonathan Martinez has a really difficult fight in his hands with this matchup. I've taken Jonathan Martinez in basically all of his fights. I'm a big believer of Jonathan Martinez. You know, his kicking ability is second to none. It is second to none. And I see people picking like Cub Swanson in his last matchup. And that was really surprising because Cub Swanson is obviously not in his prime. You know, Jonathan Martinez just dusted him, you know, looked really good. So yeah, guys, this matchup, I kind of wish it wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying? Said Nurmagomedov, one of my favourite fighters. Jonathan Martinez, one of my favourites. Both of these guys are very good. But I do believe the main result, like the main story of this fight could potentially be that if Said Nurmagomedov wants to get Jonathan Martinez to the mat, I think he could. You know, the striking could look very good with this matchup. Both of these guys are very good strikers. But I do believe if Said Nurmagomedov wants to, you know, take us away from the strike and go to the mat, I think we could. I think Said Nurmagomedov just has the grappling edge. You know, and that could help him in this type of matchup. So for me, I'm going to side against Jonathan Martinez for the first time in a long time, probably the first time. My pick's going to be Said Nurmagomedov to compete on the feet with Jonathan Martinez, and if he wants to take the fight to the mat, I think he can do that. So that's why I'm going to side with Said Nurmagomedov. Alright guys, moving into the next matchup, we've got Ricardo Ramos taking on Austin Lingo. Now, I kind of feel like Austin Lingo shouldn't be inside the octagon with Ricardo Ramos. I could be wrong, but I kind of feel like, I wouldn't say it's a mismatch, but it's close to a mismatch. You know, Austin Lingo, this guy's, he's kind of tough. You know, he's going to keep fighting, but I feel like technique for technique, Ricardo Ramos is just better. You know, you look at the kicking, it's better for Ricardo Ramos. You look at the jiu-jitsu, it's better for Ricardo Ramos. I feel like if Austin Lingo is going to win this matchup, he's probably going to be losing early in the fight, and then Ricardo Ramos is going to get tired and Austin Lingo is going to kind of work his way into the fight. But I do kind of doubt the chances of that happening for Austin Lingo. I just think Ricardo Ramos, technique for technique, is better than Austin Lingo. You know, the kicking ability for Ricardo Ramos and the jiu-jitsu ability, I do believe it's going to be on display, and that's why I'm going to side with Ricardo Ramos to win this matchup. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Nikita Krylov taking on Ryan Spann. Now, this was a main event and it's been moved to a 3-round fight, but it's kind of the same breakdown. You know, even though the matchup's now 15 minutes, I do believe it's still the same. If Ryan Spann is going to win this fight, it's probably going to happen round 1. If Nikita Krylov is going to win this matchup, it's probably going to happen outside of round 1. I'm not saying he can't stop Ryan Spann in the first round. I'm just saying his chances outside of round 1 is probably better. For me though, guys, I'm going to stay with my original prediction, and my original prediction was a Ryan Spann round 1 stoppage. Alright, moving into the co-main event, we've got Alexander Volkov taking on Alexander Romanov. This is a good matchup because if Volkov wants to win, you've got to avoid the mat. And if Romanov wants to win, you've got to go to the mat. It's going to be one or the other. It's for the gambler to decide what's going to happen, what's the chances. I kind of feel like the chances of Romanov getting the fight to the mat, I feel like the chances are good, because Volkov's takedown defense isn't the best. You know, there's been times in his career where he has been taken to the mat, and I know you could say like the people that got him to the mat are very credentialed, which is true. Guys, I do believe the grappling work of Romanov is going to be good enough in this matchup to get Alexander Volkov to the mat. Now, it's going to be interesting because if I'm wrong, and if we stay on the feet, Volkov's going to win. You know, there's a big difference with the striking. There's a big difference with experience at the highest level. That sides with Volkov. So yeah, guys, a very interesting co-main event. I'm going to side with Alexander Romanov to get Volkov to the mat. And once he gets Volkov to the mat, have you seen the movie King Kong? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Main event, we've got Petr taking on Merab Dvalishvili. This is a great main event. You know, what can we say about Petr? You know, some of the best boxing, some of the best Muay Thai, brilliant cardio, brilliant wrestling. Petr, he could still be a champion. He did lose his most recent fight to Sean O'Malley, and I kind of feel like I was on an island picking Sean O'Malley to win that fight. However, guys, that fight was a very close 15-minute fight, and this fight is not a 15-minute fight. This fight's a main event. This fight's 25 minutes. And you could say if this fight was 15 minutes, it would kind of favour Merab Dvalishvili. You could say that. Because, guys, when you look at Merab Dvalishvili, this guy's a very good wrestler. Relentless. You know, he can wrestle all day. And that's like the main reason why Merab wins fights, you know, his cardio is very good. It's better than the opponents 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10. And when he just keeps going for these takedowns and getting the takedowns, and then he goes again for another takedown over and over, it just kind of wears on the opponent. And that's really been the way that Merab Dvalishvili has got himself to the point where he's main eventing on a UFC fight card. Now, a lot of people are going to say, even though Merab Dvalishvili has very good wrestling, Petr a very good wrestler too. You know, his defensive wrestling's good, his offensive wrestling's good. You know, guys, it kind of feels like if Merab Dvalishvili does want to win this fight, he's just got to prove to be able to get the takedowns and probably get more than one. Probably more than 2. You know what I'm saying? He's probably got to get quite a few takedowns over 25 minutes. Now, guys, it's interesting because the training partner of Merab Dvalishvili is Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain Sterling done good work on the mat against Petr. But you got to remember that Merab Dvalishvili doesn't have the same level of jiu-jitsu as Aljamain Sterling, so he's not going to be backpacking Petr. Now, even though Merab Dvalishvili isn't going to be backpacking Petr, can he still win the fight? He could. You know, just getting the takedowns could be enough. And guys, I know we score the fights based off damage, but let's say there's a round or two where Merab is just relentless, like he is, and he just gets those takedowns over and over. You know, if there's a couple rounds like that, it could be difficult to score the fight. Obviously, the better striker is going to be Petr. You know, Petr striking is levels above Merab Dvalishvili. Like levels. So really, it's going to be one or the other. Either Merab Dvalishvili can prove, look, my wrestling is that good. My cardio is that good. I am that relentless. Either Merab Dvalishvili is going to prove that, or Petr going to dust him on the feet. Like, he's going to dust him on the feet. Because Merab's not going to be able to strike with Petr. You know what I'm saying? I really doubt he can strike. You know, Peter's boxing is just unbelievable. His kicking, his counter ability, his speed, his toughness. It's all good. Now, guys, I'm not going to bet this fight, but I'm going to side with Merab. I've not picked against him. I think he's good. Personally, guys, I do believe Merab should be the underdog, but I wouldn't really pay minus 250 on Petr against Merab. Same as I wouldn't pay minus 300, minus 350 against Sean O'Malley. So really it comes down to like price, and I've not picked against Merab yet. I'm going to side with the wrestler to beat Petr. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think on this great main event, and yeah, drop down your Money City comments. Eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. That's Mac Miller. Alright, peace.